guys? Russ Lyman here. Welcome to the Connecticut YouTubers panel. We appreciate you coming down, finding it. Retro World Expo. Yeah, so we're all local here to the Connecticut state, making YouTube videos. Maybe you guys make videos yourself. What are you doing?
Sorry.
Why are you louder than me?
Mic check. 1, 2. Testes.
I don't know.
So we go down, pass it to Paul.
Well, you want to introduce yourself?
I did. I said, hey guys, Russ Lyman here.
Russ.
My car's parked downstairs if you guys seen the Mario Kart.
It's a pretty sweet ride.
So feel free to take a picture in front of it, tag me. There's a banana inside if you were hungry.
Did you go with the car?
How long's it been in there?
I got it this morning. They were 2 for $1, so one's on the ground. The other one's up for grabs.
He ran over Donkey Kong.
Paul?
I feel like this thing is very close.
I'm gonna make it through this.
Okay.
I feel like I can just talk regularly, you know.
I don't want to ruin
But
it.
we film our special.
Like that.
Right? Hi, my name is Paul.
I can move over.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah, we'll scoot down a little
I
bit.
make YouTube videos and I mod consoles because I don't know why.
For science.
For science. Well, the truth is, I've always, at heart, been a struggling artist, and I've always wanted to just create something, and I'd never known what to create. So YouTube is a great thing to just create because you can experiment and do any of that. And it's the same thing with doing consoles, and also with this whole like retro game thing, community, and like meeting everybody. You meet awesome people through YouTube. You meet awesome people through conventions. You meet awesome people through groups, and then there's other awesome people who you haven't met yet, but you will meet because of all these community style things. So that's what I do. Just go to things and talk to people and try to be an artist.
That's awesome. That
Yeah,
captures it all. My name is John Delia. I've been a YouTuber, I suppose, since 2007. Grandpa YouTube over here. Haven't posted much lately, but I'm from RetrowareTV.com, and I produced and created the Amazon Prime series, The Video Game Years. And it's great to be here. I was one of the original organizers when up this event the first year. Then I left because it's a lot of work. And no, it's wonderful to see people come out, and it's good to represent CT, you know, Nutmeg.
Nice, thank you. I'm Sam Hatch, also known as Culture Dog. I've been YouTubing in Connecticut for, I don't know, 5 years, something like that. I started in radio and then just kind of figured my radio face needed to be seen, so I decided to take it to the camera. And I'm the token movie guy, mostly movie stuff, retro stuff like Laserdisc, etc. So I'm going to be doing a panel tomorrow too, self-explored. But, and that's it, yeah, making movies.
So my name's Mike Levy. I go by Mike Tendo online. My channel is Dongled, and it's youtube.com/Dongled. So I do, my main series is Dude You Haven't Played This Game, which is a video game review series. It's like skits. It's kind of like if you like Angry Video Game Nerd, Happy Video Game Nerd, 16-bit gems going way back to the, the Retroware days. I do like a more classic style show like that. I call it edutainment, if you will. I currently do a podcast, a video game music podcast called XVGM Radio, formerly from Pixel Tunes Radio, but now I do one called XVGM Radio, and it's a video game music podcast. I do a series called Noob Repair on that channel as well, which is where I try to like give you like hints and tips and different things that you can do for your collections and for, if you've got stuff that you want to put together without soldering. That's the whole key, is to do it without soldering. So it's kind of like the reverse of what you do, because I don't solder at all. But I come up with little neat tips and tricks to do that. And then I also have a series called Gaming Linguistics, which is where I try to figure out how to pronounce stuff in video games. So I did one on like Zebus, in Metroid, or Chrono Trigger, how to pronounce Chrono. I'm doing one soon called for Jackio from Ninja Gaiden, so it's pretty cool.
Ninja Gaiden, come on, get it right.
So I've been on YouTube since 2012, so that's about it.
My name is Ryan, and this microphone is really loud. I host the channel Racks It Great. Unlike these guys, I'm a little out of control. I do a lot of making fun of myself, and Yeah, just
we all do that.
Yeah, we all make fun of ourselves, but like I go a little overboard sometimes. But yeah, I've been on YouTube for about a year, and I make videos doing game reviews, unboxings. Yeah, pretty standard stuff, I guess you could say. Just about like everything that every YouTuber does, but I don't know, just try to have a little bit of fun, add some skits in there, and yeah, another thing about YouTube is it brought all of us guys together, so it's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. All about the collaboration videos.
Yeah, it's all about the collabs.
So I guess what we did this panel last year, very similar, and pretty much what we touched on was everything that we do, and to give you guys an idea, if you have any questions, you know, we're gonna go over some of the equipment that we use and some of the tips and tricks that we utilize on YouTube to, you know, make our shows and make our channels, you know, what they are. So, I don't know.
I actually have a question for you guys because I'm not using this.
I don't even think it's on.
It's like on like this way, but like it gets it fades.
Yeah. Which one is that?
Who cares?
This one.
I recently picked up the Panasonic Lumix G7, which is the small mirrorless Lumix. You know, it's underneath the GH5 or the GH7, but it has, you know, it was under $500 and it has this great 4K capability, very similar to the GH5 or the GH7, which I think came out. So my question for you guys is, because I'm going to start using this now, which is much higher quality than I've used in the past. Do you shoot, when you do your on-camera, do you shoot 24p? Do you shoot 30p? Do you shoot 60? What formats do you use to what settings do you use to shoot?
So I've been using that camera right there that I'm pointing at for about 5-6 years. It's a Handycam. I recently got a much nicer Canon camera, but the problem is I cannot for the life of me figure, it didn't come with a manual, I got it used. I cannot figure out for the life of me how to properly focus it, like not like manual focus. So that's, it's also been really impossible to like find enough information in the manual to like figure this out on my own. So like if I ever use that camera, it has to be with somebody else in the room. So you are asking the wrong guy for that question.
Yeah,
Any DSLR users?
No, I'm like a Nikon Pix guy, so same thing, 1080p.
So there you go. You do tons
I think
of
Russ
stuff.
can answer this.
So, I mean, the highest this camera will shoot is 1080 at 30 frames, so that's what I always
You always
shoot
shoot that.
in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a T6i?
5. The
Oh,
5 one,
T5.
yeah. It's about $500, and then I just got a Rode mic on top. I used to have the shotgun mic, but I got this one because I like to, when I'm at conventions, getting footage, and I would always bump stuff with the microphone because it's further than the lens, and I'm like, bink! I'm like, so this is just, you know, a little less, and then when you're, you know, in vlog style. And I'm just using a Joby Gorilla Pod here, and you can, you know, alter it here, so if you really, you know, want to get that extended, like, hey guys, we're at the YouTuber panel, you can fit us all in.
Right.
Yeah, but I use this, and I sometimes use a GoPro, depending on some footage. I just did a review, we did top 5 summer NES games, and Jaws was one of them, and I actually took my GoPro and shot the review in the water. I walked out there with the card itself, and I did a little like underwater scene, like if Jaws was coming. But this way, I can use the GoPro and get those cool shots.
It came out great. Though.
Yeah, thank
I remember
you.
seeing all the comments. It was just like, how did you get your cartridge wet like that? Like, why did you do that, Russ?
Because it's Jaws.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and I know Paul edits and shoots in 4K.
Whoa.
Yeah, both of us do.
Wow.
But I know you do
That camera shoots in 4K.
like intricate when he's doing his soldering work and all that.
Yeah, the detail is great.
To get that zoom in, yeah.
The whole purpose why I chose 4K was for high zoom in shots. So that way I can actually zoom in using the editing program, so I don't always have to worry about how zoomed in it is on the
You don't
camera.
have to get all macro, you can just like cut
Exactly.
it.
So that
That's
way
real smart.
I can just throw it into the editing program and then use that to zoom in because the 4K captured all the pixels. And that was actually like the worst hindrance when I first started YouTube. Well, when I first started YouTube, I had no idea what I was doing.
Excellent.
I don't think any of us do.
Yeah, I don't think I still know what I'm doing.
And it was really great because I was like, all right, now I know what I want to do. What do I need to do it?
Right.
And I was like, oh, pixels. Okay, let's figure that out. And then what sucked
These
was
damn pixels.
Pixels didn't like me because, or my computer didn't like pixels because it was like, wait a minute, I can't handle this 4K footage. And I'm like, oh my God, now I need another computer because my computer's from 2009.
Yeah.
So then that was a whole
That's
thing.
the downside of editing 4K footage. It's going to be longer rendering times.
Yeah, my Mac couldn't even handle it.
Murders your graphics card. Just like
Yeah.
just so.
What do you mean by murder your graphics? What does it do? Like toast it?
It makes it stop.
Oh shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, well that's what do you guys use for editing?
I use Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
I use Sony Vegas for video, and for the podcast, I use Audacity. It's free.
Yeah, I use Audacity as well for my audio, and then Serif Movie Plus 6, an older thing that I just kind of I got grandfathered in on. I'm used to it.
Yeah, I use Adobe CS6 and Premiere. I mean, the Premiere suite, the Photoshop, the even Audition, like everything just works nice together.
You have to pay per month for that, though, right?
You do, yeah.
No, I don't.
We
I'm not promoting anything. I'm not promoting anything.
Whoops.
There are ways.
DaVinci Resolve 14.5 because it's free. You just have to like find where it's free on their website. It's
Right.
like buy it, and then there's like a small column down on the left where you can like scroll all the way through.
That's like a game in itself. It's finding the free
I
software link.
Finding free
wait
stuff.
a minute, where was it? And then I don't use anything for audio. I use the DaVinci Resolve for audio. It's really cool because there's like a lot of like light tweaks that you can use in DaVinci, which I don't really ever utilize, but they're there.
And Photoshop too. Photoshop is free as well. You can get it online. I think on their website there was a free version.
Really?
Yeah, there's like a free version that I downloaded right from their website, and it basically does anything you need for thumbnails.
And there's like
Or
a
basic
cheaper,
edits.
like $10 a month one
Yeah.
if you just want to get Photoshop like the full version.
Right,
so
right.
I've been doing that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I've been using a knockoff version of Photoshop from Britain called Zara.
Oh, look at you.
Okay.
There's the online like Pixlr or whatever I think that it's the whole interface is very Photoshop-like, but it's all web-based.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of nutty, but not
It
as
is. We have a question.
I was just going to comment. I use GIMP.
GIMP. Yeah, I tried
Does
GIMP.
everything.
It's a
You
classic.
have to learn the tile windows, so that takes like some getting used to. But once you learn it, it's like, oh, this is great. I can do whatever.
I tried GIMP and I didn't like it. And then I'd taken a Photoshop class in college and forgot everything I learned. And then when I went to go use Photoshop again, it all kind of came back into place. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing on I would say download DaVinci Resolve 15. It has Fusion built into it now.
huh.
For special effects, it
never
has
used
pretty
it.
much
I haven't tried it.
It's the equivalent of After Effects.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever used After Effects.
Yeah.
After Effects is a pain.
But,
Yeah.
but
I've
that
opened After
process
Effects
alone,
and been
you
like,
have to make
Yeah,
sure
that's
you're
it.
really-
Yeah, After Effects is scary.
Yeah, what you use for your graphics card again.
What do you guys use?
Sony Vegas.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. Vegas. I use Vegas. He uses DaVinci.
I've been using it too for.
You're going to be the only one using Final Cut.
That's what.
I know.
You have a
like
Mac, right?
Yeah,
That's the standard forever.
I've used Final Cut as well.
I use Steamback reel to reel, on a flat. Kind of splicing and tape.
We got a question in the back?
Yeah, I've noticed that people that learn GIMP through Photoshop, afterwards when they look at the other, they hate it. And I'm convinced that it's because the feature set is almost identical, but all the feel of it is different, the details are different, and they just don't want to be bothered to go through the learning curve again.
Yeah, Photoshop, like once you get over the learning curve, it's like a soft blanket. Like you know where to look for
Right.
things, and I'll always go back to it.
Where's that clone tool?
Yeah, there it is, right where I left it.
I think it's just because I learned Photoshop first, and then it's like riding a bike when you go to pick it back up. So, yeah, I don't think any of us knew what we were doing. I mean, like,
No, I didn't.
yeah.
Well, I said definitely the beginnings of YouTube, because I know you started long ago too.
Oh, I can tell you stories about what we tried to do.
And I just named my channel my name because I didn't know like what else. Like, I wanted to respond to
Wrestling
other
Man.
people's comments. Yeah, Wrestling Man.
Wrestling Man.
What was everybody use for lighting? Do you use actual lighting or just some sort of ghetto rig together?
I have professional lighting, like light boxes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you can get that stuff
I
pretty
have the
cheap
room for it.
nowadays.
I never know the technical term. I think they're light boxes, but I have the umbrella ones.
Yeah,
Those are
soft
good.
boxes.
Those are soft boxes. I use the umbrella ones. I have 2 of those. I used to use the dirty, cheap way to do lighting on YouTube is go to Home Depot, get a
Yeah,
clip
buddy.
lamp,
Yeah.
and I used those for the first.
I like to add to
Parchment
that.
paper.
Parchment
Yeah.
paper.
I got 4 of them.
Yeah.
Or a shower
white
cap.
t-shirt.
Those
T-shirt
tea
will work.
lights,
Yeah,
those
just the soft
paper
light.
Look at that.
Yep.
tea lights were always.
You guys are all wrong. You gotta go outside and catch a lot of lightning bugs.
So that's what I did, was clip lamp, and then I bought like a big light bulb, and I used that, and I just clipped it onto, I used to be in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I clipped it onto my media stand, and I could only film certain angles with it, because otherwise the clip would fall off. Like, God damn it.
Because Lance and I started in '07. Lance went to, he did communications and film media studies, and I went to film school at NYU, and we were like, oh yeah, equipment. And we were like, we know how to do a shoot. So yeah, we went to Home Depot, we bought a bunch of work lamps. We just put them up on tripods we had sitting around. I had color correction gels and diffusion paper from school that I would just clip on with C47s, also known as
Clothespins.
And it's we had a slate. We were doing off-camera audio.
Wow.
We had a couple guys helping us, and it looked like crap. Because we were still using junk SD and 240p on YouTube. In 2017, you could only go 10 minutes.
That was a
It was
Right, I remember that, yeah.
we were pushing it. We had 6-part videos, but. Yeah, it was fun trying to figure that out back then, and now it's unreal the quality.
Yeah.
You
It's
even
just
use
stunning.
a phone for shooting.
Yeah, I've been using this the last year.
The big thing with editing, which I made a huge mistake when I first started, was I rendered incorrectly. So you have to figure out the best way to render, and you want the highest quality.
Oh, right, yeah.
It takes a while.
The first year of shooting my reviews, I think they all were 480, or 720 or lower than that. They were really poor quality, and I ended up I went back and I rewatched them, which they're terrible. Don't watch them. And I'm just like, what was I thinking? Nobody knows what they're doing. What do you guys use for what is your? Do you have a formula that you guys use when you create videos? You start with audio, you start with video, live action. What do you do?
Wing it.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of these programs now have presets, so it's
YouTube,
once you
video.
I like to film my videos in 4K and then use a preset that renders it in 1080p specifically for YouTube. So I feel like that is putting out a pretty good quality for me. I mean, everybody has their own preferences on what's going to be good for them, but I mean that's what works for me. Adobe Premiere has a great section when you go to render your projects that it literally says hey, you want to put this on YouTube? Oh, here's 1080p format. You can even go up to 4K, so that's what I like to use.
Yeah, that was pretty useful. The new versions have that.
Yeah.
I remember years ago it was kind of touch and go. I mean, when we were releasing video game years in pieces, the whole thing was done in 1080p, but we didn't want to output these raw 1080p files that were gigantic and wouldn't upload properly or take forever with the hookup we had. You remember the site Escapist?
Yeah.
We were posting on there for a little while, so they had these standard settings, which would make a high quality 1080p, pretty decent bit rate, and they sent the settings to us. I just called it the Escapist settings, and I used it for everything from that point forward because it kept it the right size. Then I switched programs, and I got to figure it out again.
Didn't they?
I heard a bunch of the staff came back, a couple people.
Somebody just bought that.
What about you guys? Anybody here make YouTube videos? Want to make YouTube videos?
Yeah,
Want to share? Don't
toss
want to
it out
share?
for questions if you guys have questions about picking our brains. Anybody?
So,
We'll just keep babbling.
yeah.
We're talking about games.
So what we always do, we start off with that. We actually still have one clip lamp in the corner.
Nice.
Keep the green screen lit because if you don't, it just causes you all kinds of headaches.
Oh yeah,
green screen.
Green screen's the best.
But yeah, we have 2 huge soft boxes in the studio.
And they only cost $64 for 2 with LEDs, the brightest LEDs that you ever get.
Quick tip for green screen. There's an app on your iPhone you can get. It's called Green Screener. It'll tell you where all your hotspots are, and it'll help out.
That's useful.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, with
DaVinci has one of the most powerful green screen software I've seen out of most of them, except for Premieres. Premiere is a little more complicated, but DaVinci is almost like user-friendly. You just take, oh, that's a hot spot, draw a mark on it. Okay,
Yep.
draw a mark on it, draw a mark on it.
That's pretty cool.
It just takes it away.
Yeah, there's like shadows in it.
I didn't,
Listen, shut up, Paul.
We just did a video, like, and we couldn't get the green screen, like, for properly working on it, so he used DaVinci, and it just complete 180. It's amazing.
That's cool.
Fast everything.
I'll have to take a look at that. I mean, with video game years, we would get every bit of footage from everybody out. You know, they shoot it themselves.
Yeah.
You get a million different versions of
Different
green screen.
colors,
It's
yeah.
hellish.
Yeah, my lighting was all engineering too. It's all obviously tacked up on the wall.
yeah.
And what is up wrinkles in my green screen, like blanket?
Oh, you have to iron it. If you can, don't get or steam it. Yeah, I have a steamer and I've steamed it. I've ironed it.
I said just a quick tip that everyone gets a green screen. Read the description. Don't make the mistake I did. I have a 12-foot by 12-foot green screen in my room.
Giant.
Yeah, it takes up my whole room.
Yeah.
And he goes, you should have got the one that clipped to the back of your chair. I'm like, son of a bitch. So like, you can't walk in the room. It's like crawl over the bed, get into the seat, turn on the camera, and then I'm like, oh shit, I need to get a drink. All right, hold on. And back around again.
Yeah.
I set mine up on my back wall, and I have my couch that I drape it over.
Yeah.
And if you guys watch my live streams, you'll see my cat like sitting on the couch next to me.
Yeah.
He's just like chilling in the video game world. Like.
I have a dog and a cat, and it's just the cat is a hog. Like she loves to get on. She loves to get on camera. So if I'm filming like a quick video, like hey guys, you know, like unboxing video or whatever, like almost every time she jumps on the table. So you got to figure out like where to put the camera. So that, especially if you're just resting it on something and you're not like actually taking the time to put it on a stand.
Yeah, Lance and I would do, we'd shoot in my basement or we'd shoot in his basement to do video game years segments. And we both have 2 boys apiece. So you just hear, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I did an interview recently, an online thing with Ollie, banjo guy Ollie.
Okay, yep.
And you know, he interviewed me, and then my 4-year-old comes downstairs and just like hangs over my shoulder. I'm like, yeah, that guy's talking to me right now. He's like, hi.
It's like that video on like CNN with the diplomat who the kid comes in the background, and the babysitter comes out.
It constantly. It happens during like conference calls at work.
Question?
Yes, I was just curious for a question for all of you guys. What is the biggest challenges you guys have in being content creators for your channels?
Ooh,
coming up with content.
Well, for example, like deciding which content to put out or consistency.
For me, it's time.
Oh!
There you go.
Stole his answer.
I have this huge hopper filled with ideas and content I want to get.
Yeah.
And then there's my time, which only allows this small trickle to come through. And it's always an uphill battle.
Especially if you work a job.
Yeah. No, I don't know if any of us do this full time. I don't think so, right? No.
I quit my job last week.
Did you really?
Because of YouTube or just because you're a slacker?
That makes 2 of us.
Yeah.
I've been doing the same thing for 12 years, and I despised it with a passion for 12 years. So that's kind of how YouTube and console modding and all that like sort of came up for me, because I was like, you know what'd be sweet? If I got paid to do something I love.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Right? Like, so I went on this venture, and I didn't quit my job because all the other things I doing was financially viable. I quit my job because I didn't have time to do the other things to make them financially viable.
Okay.
So I actually, with like the whole console modding, it goes hand in hand with YouTube, because that's what I make YouTube videos about. But then
that helps promote your services.
Which promotes services, which promotes the website that I have that sells the chips to do the console mods and t-shirts and other random stuff like that. And then that kind of just took overwhelming. So I actually haven't even made a YouTube video in 3 months. And the overlying weird, at this point I'm answering your question.
Looking at
because you took my time answer, so I had to come back with another answer. This awkward, weird guilt that I feel for not making a video.
I have a pile of stuff I need to get to, and I have no time. I mean, I work in New York City, and I live close to the border of New York, but it takes me an hour, 45 minutes each way to get to work. I work a full day. I come home, I got 2 kids. I'm like, in the guilt.
Yeah.
The guilt just piles.
I wish I didn't do post-production, because that's really where the crunch always hits me.
Yeah.
And I wish I could just grab a camera and just go live.
Well, I know a lot of Rex has been doing, like, if we don't have time to get a video out that week, live streaming.
Yeah.
I bet that's
and
what
you
I've been
can
doing.
kind of like, people can tune into that and you can tell them, hey, sorry I couldn't get a video up this week, but I'm playing a game.
Yeah.
Rather than uploading a video saying that.
My battle with that is, do I do Twitch or YouTube? That's
Right.
That's been my latest struggle.
I tried Twitch, and
my user base
so many people. Someone actually commented, were like, "Are you leaving YouTube?" And I'm like, "Well, no. Everyone streams on
Right.
Twitch. I figured I'd try."
I was talking to Norm last night, the gaming historian.
Yeah, yeah.
He said he goes Twitch because he doesn't like the commenting interface on YouTube.
Right.
For
Yeah.
that stuff.
It's difficult to use with Streamlabs as well, because I use Streamlabs OBS with that.
I feel like I missed the boat.
I feel like I had a question in the back. Sorry, hand up.
Oh, the poster.
We have nothing to do with the poster.
Yeah, I was going to say time as well. So yeah, you're dead. I just had a newborn, so
There you
know,
go.
I had a
You're
newborn
done.
daughter.
Yep.
So like that just
channel.
I've been really
You're
struggling
going to
to
do record reviews just like me.
Yeah.
Once a year.
No, I still put out content, but I've really been trying to slow what I put out. So I do tons of big projects, and I just film them all at once, and then I just spend like months editing them.
Yep.
So
Well,
I
that's
still
good
come
batch
out.
shooting, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I
if
still.
you're going to do a review, set your camera up and do 3 or 4 reviews.
Oh yeah,
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was doing that for a little while, and it was when I started to do that, I was able to then do 2 videos a week.
Yeah.
Because it would be like, all right, I'm just gonna film for like a day, and then I'll film like 8 videos, and then I'll be like, I only like 6 of them, and then I would go to edit, and then I would be like, I only like 2 of them, and then I'd be like, those are my 2 videos for the week.
Yeah.
And then when batch, I was able to do 2 videos for a while, which is something that I actually saw to actually help my channel grow a little bit, was when I have to switch from 1 video to 2, and that's the end of
But
the
time
thing.
time has also affected the reverse way too, because there's a lot of people on YouTube that do not like long videos. There's a sea of
I feel
people
like
that
that's
do.
changed.
That
It's up and
it
down.
has.
It's crazy. Like I'm more old school. I've been putting out the reviews that are anywhere between
20.
8 to 20 minutes,
Oh, yeah.
usually on generally. And you do get a lot of comments that are like, oh, the video's too long, or the intro's too long, or this is too long, and you got to kind of listen to your gut and put out what you want. Like I do a skit-based show, so I have to showcase that I do skits, and I can't really do that with an intro that's 2 seconds long.
Yeah.
You got to kind of show people a little taste of what they're getting. And so you got to kind of listen to yourself when you're making your own content.
So that goes into your analytics as well, like see.
Oh, absolutely.
Subscribers.
Don't make money.
watch
Don't
3
make YouTube
seconds
to make money. Don't make YouTube to make money. Don't make YouTube to become a superstar. Because I remember when I started out, I was like, I'm going to be the next AVGN. And I put out like a terrible review of Metroid that's just so bad, and I had to redo it when I actually got a formula down. I knew what I was doing. And then I remember like going, like I remember. Yeah, right. I mean, I remember trying to get on RetroWare's website, and I would be like, oh yeah, I do YouTube. Here, guys, check out my stuff. And I know you probably they were like, sorry, we're looking for good stuff. So it's one of those things where you have to be your biggest critic, and you have to be your biggest cheerleader as well on YouTube. Like you can't be worried that much about what people think. If you're getting what's the word? Unanimous? Unanimous.
Yeah.
If you're getting unanimous like hatred, you're definitely doing something wrong. But if you're like getting 50 people that are like, we love what you're doing, and then like 2 people that are like, you're fat, I hate you, then don't worry about it.
You're like, thanks for watching.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Thanks for the view.
Yeah.
I do. That's kind of. I used to say that. I used to do that. Like when I get trolled and stuff.
Oh, you would respond to them?
I'd respond once in a while. I'd be like, yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Positive. Yeah.
It's like, thanks for watching the ads.
Yeah. Any other questions or? Yep.
I just have a comment and a question. I often watch the YouTube channels on my TiVo.
Oh, okay.
And most of the time when I'm watching it, you get this podcast or a video blog, and my wife walks by and she's like, "Oh, nerd."
Divorce.
Yeah, but I will say that the video game years was a rare occasion when she actually sat down and said, I mean, she still made comments, like, the guy wears the hoodie in the video.
Oh yeah, you see Ian. It's like, my wife did that too. My wife was like, why is he wearing the hoodie? He's like, is that a political statement for Trayvon? I was like, nah, he just likes them.
Yeah. And she was like, oh God, I hate this guy, you know.
Yeah.
But in general, she sat there and actually watched, you know, especially the late 70s and early.
Really, because
Yeah.
those are the ones that the 70s ones I edited completely myself, which was insane. And I mean, I can't believe my wife stayed with me. I was just like, just tons of editing, everything from the green screen and getting all the material in. But it was definitely our goal when we made the show, was to, how can we make this in-depth enough for those who know, but also digestible and approachable for anybody who might just be casually interested. So, I mean, yeah, we're happy about how it came out. It's nice. It has a new audience on it.
Yeah, you made the jump to Amazon. How's that working?
It's been consistent. I mean,
nice.
The first few months were nuts. I mean, it did gangbusters to the point where like it started hitting that algorithm where like it showed up in people's recommended TV lists.
That's awesome.
And then connecting with other things, and then it was great because it bought us some time to do another season, because it felt like, I mean, I haven't produced the show I haven't edited anything for the video game years other than getting it ready for Prime for 3 years.
Oh wow!
So the show, and the last footage shot was 4 years ago.
Oh wow!
So like, and then we put it out late last year on Prime, and it was like it was brand new, and a whole new audience, and it blew up. And then I still get emails and comments about like, hey, where's the 90s? Where's the 90s? And like Pat, Lance, and I are, you know, working out details. Our schedules are awful, so we're trying to figure that out. But I think it'll be able to get us some more time to get it done.
I think you just have to have a creative mind as well, going back to like what you were asking for, what's your biggest challenge. I think you have to have that idea in your head, something has to pop in your head. I did a review for Haunting Ground where I dressed like the character Fiona. It's like cross-dressed, you know, just to dress. And I had Michael B. the Game Genie in the video, and Weekend Game Guy and all that. And like, it's one of those things that popped in my head. I was like, what am I going to review for Halloween? Because I always try to go big for Halloween. And that was like a couple years ago. And I was just like, oh, I'll just dress like Fiona, and I'll be in a cage, and I'll come out just like, you know, her in the game. And like, that's the kind of thing that you're always thinking of. Or like I did a Hyperstone Heist review where I had Shredder in the TV. So I had to green screen the TV effect. And you know, took the footage from the first Ninja Turtles game where Shredder's like moving his hand, and to make it so it looked like he was moving his hand, add the TV, and like that's the sort of thing you got to come up with. Like I will be driving, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, what am I going to review next? Oh, I got it. I'll do WrestleMania or something. You know, that's actually my next review is WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game for PS1, and I went out and filmed a bunch of stuff with the wrestling company Evolve Wrestling. So I drove all the way up to Massachusetts and filmed a bunch of stuff with them. So it's like there has to be a wheel turning up here at all times, trying to figure out what the heck you're going to do, so that way you stay fresh, you stay focused.
Yeah, pay attention to what you're doing in your life too, because it's easy to just kind of sleepwalk your way through and not realize there's all sorts of things you're doing that you can exploit. You know, things that you're playing or watching that you're like, oh, I could actually make a video about this.
Yeah.
So be a little bit self-aware about what you're doing, and if you can turn it into a video.
I'd say don't chase fads or what you think people want to see. Just be yourself.
Just be you.
Fortnite videos.
Yeah, I mean, like when I started, you know, there was no monetization. And short videos were like anything over 3 minutes, you're losing your audience. Like, and then it was, oh, everyone's not watching it on their computer anymore; they're watching it on their cell phone. Like, oh, okay, so that changes things. It's still short, but people might be commuting. There might be things, more time. And then everybody turned. I mean, you can watch YouTube easily on your television. So,
do it all the time.
Yeah, Chromecast. I mean, now it's like people can digest longer things. So it ended up being this evolution of, we always wanted to do long form. We always wanted to do more, you know, television production-esque, and said, screw it, that's what we're doing. I don't care how we're releasing it, it's just going to be done this way. And so for video game years, we release it in tiny pieces to digest. Pat even released it in smaller pieces, just the segments, 2 minutes at a time. We released it in 4 parts, and then Amazon was like full 1 hour plus episodes, and it was meant to be that way, and that's why it worked.
Sometimes stuff just falls into your lap, and that's another part of the creativity where you have to kind of, don't be afraid to like reach out to people for collabs, or, you know, what I always tell people with collabs is, don't come at me and be like, hey, do you want to collab? So I'd be like, no. because you didn't give me anything.
Have an idea.
Have an idea of what you want to do. Don't just approach somebody and be like, let's collab. Because they'll be like, dude, I'm so busy. Like, you want to get the ball rolling with something ahead of time. Like, oh, let's review Wonders from
That's what I said with the Annie. I did 4 collaborations this past month. And I reached out to everyone with different ideas. I was like, it's summertime, let's do summer themed things. And then my other friend's channel's been doing tips and tricks, and I was like, let's do how to shoot a better pickup video where we talked about lighting, audio, and all that.
You did that with Your Player 2, right?
Yeah, Your Player 2.
Yeah.
And then
you did Mega Man month too. You did Mega March.
Yeah.
And I did a Mega Man 3 review, and I had Russ join me with it. So I was like, hey, I sent Russ a script for what I wanted, and he filmed it and sent it to me. So
one of my friends is actually in Germany, and he shoots his stuff over there, and he did kind of like almost like a game hunter style, where he was going out to a game store, and he wanted me to be a special guest, and he kind of gave me like some script to shoot, and I shot at the video, like game store I work at. It was just kind of like, hey, what's up? Like, da, 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 da.
The website did Light Gun Month once, and then the Aurora shooting happened at the movie theater. We're like, we gotta end Light Gun Month.
SEO score jumps.
That's rough.
Damn.
That's rough. Yeah, wasn't what's his name? Eric.
Eric he did a bunch of. He took so long on some of them, but then he did like a 50-minute Light Gun video. It was amazing. He just kept doing it. It was like 3 months later. He's like, more Light Gun.
You gotta try to like extend yourself as much as possible. Like I recently did a review for X-Men Mutant Apocalypse on Super NES, and I just happened to have reached out to Cal Dodd, who voiced Wolverine in the original 90s X-Men cartoon. And it was just like, hey, I'm a big fan. I reached out to him like months and months and months ago. It was just like, hey, I just wanted to tell you I'm a big fan. And he was like, oh, thanks. And he seemed really approachable. So then I later on reached out to him again and was like, hey, would you be interested in doing a voiceover? You know, write a couple lines for you could do it as Wolverine. And he was like, yeah. And he was actually going to Kineticon, which I did not know. He was going to be a guest. So I met him, in person, like he recorded the audio and it came out fantastic. Everybody really liked it. So that's the kind of thing you want to go for. Is don't be afraid to ask somebody if you want something from them, because if you don't ask, then you'll never know the answer. So what's the worst they could say? No. So at least you tried.
I'm gonna elaborate on everything you just said. Just like go with it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like when you said about like don't be scared to like go out of your comfort zone. My channel, all about console mods and console repairs. And I reached out to 3 musicians and was like, hey, I'm gonna play you video game music and I want you to just talk about it. And what does that have to do with like fixing game consoles? It's so out of left field. But those are like the really fun videos.
Yeah.
Is like those like experimentation, those like trying to do something different and like create something and just, I don't know, that's why I like it. And it was really cool because like one musician like didn't know anything about video games. It was so funny when Ocarina of Time music came on. He was like, that one sucks. And I was like, oh my God, I can't put this in the video. Oh my God, people are gonna be, like, it was awesome. And yeah, never be scared. And like, not just like making YouTube videos, I mean like anything.
Anything, yeah.
Like, just jump out, do something different, try something else.
Yeah.
And like that's
Try a makeup tutorial. I heard those are great.
I tried that. I just told you.
ASMR makeup tutorial. Like doing my next video.
My kids love YouTube Kids, so like you got to do those like Elsa and like Grover talking to each other. And like, shit, that's huge. So I'm doing that next.
Swearing as well is like, a lot of people think like, oh, well, AVGN swears, so I'm going to swear in my videos.
Yeah, I don't swear in mine either.
I don't swear in my videos. I think the first few episodes I threw a couple in, and then I was like, this isn't the way to go.
Yeah, we should have a really strict
I'm trying my hardest not to swear here.
I'm bad on panels. Once I saw the young kid left, I was like, yeah, fuck it, we're talking.
I have a podcast where I swear like a sailor, but on the videos.
Oh, okay. So I don't swear on the podcast either, but we always keep it like...
You're smarter.
Yeah, well, we keep it like risque. You know, I filmed a lot of stuff that was very like risque for the channel. I'm toying with the idea of doing a hentai game review. It's Castlevania fan game. Castlevania had a fan game that I just found out about called Castle of Succubus, and it's got a bunch of like hentai scenes in it. So I thought
hands
it'd
up
be
if
really
you like
funny,
tentacles,
right? Anybody? No. So I thought it'd be really funny to review that on like just with censoring everything out. You know,
Right.
obviously. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of poke fun and like.
Yeah. I put Jimmy's face from Import Gaming for the Win, his little cartoon face.
Yeah,
I put that everywhere. Yeah. So that's the plan.
Your time speaking of bleh, talking about asking for collaborations and just throwing a feeler out there. I mean, that's the kind of idea I just think like Brad Jones, Cinema Snob, would probably be down for. If you've ever seen his stuff.
Sure.
Just.
Yeah. But that's another thing with like really big YouTubers is like I've had a couple like that I've tried to reach out to, and they're so busy. Like a lot of them are really busy. They get offers like that all the time. So when you're talking about a $5, $10, $15,000 or 15,000 subscriber channel, there may be less inclined. Some are a big part of the community. Like I just saw RGT85 had Rewind Mike, who's a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
He has like I think 2,000 subs or something like that. So and that's awesome when
make sure to check out his channel today.
Yeah. So
let's D-measure, bros. How many subs you guys have?
D.
I got one. That's my mom. I just want to play with these buttons. No, I've got about. I want to say I'm at like. I don't know. I think I hit 2,029. I think last year when I was at Retro World, I was at 200. So I've grown pretty consistently. I feel like networking played a big part into that. I feel like I'm pretty good with networking with people.
That's part of the trick to the algorithm. Is sort of weird now. It's tough to
clusters,
it's not as democratic as it used to be on.
Yeah. I filmed something for Metal Jesus Rocks.
Yeah.
It was gameplay footage for Heavy Metal Fact 2, which I also did a review on. And he saw that I did the review, and he was like, "Oh, where'd you get that footage?" And I was like, "I shot it, like I recorded it." And he's like, "I couldn't get it to record. Can I use your footage?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I actually deleted the footage accidentally, so I had to re-record all that gameplay footage. So I did it and sent it to him, and I thought, "Oh man, here I come." 50,000 subs. And it's like, no. And you have to be honest about that. I think I'm sitting at 3,943.
About 3,500.
Yeah, 3,900 something. I'm so close to that 4K.
You just got.
Yeah.
What did you surpass?
4K yesterday.
Yeah.
Nice, congrats.
Nice.
Sweet. Awesome.
I mean, all I did was make a video about how to clean a PS4.
Yeah, that video has like 500,000 views. That's
like 10 years ago, I did an unboxing of a Famicom disk system. And I was like, oh my god,
dude, it's crazy how unboxing will do.
Like this is early. Like not a lot of unboxing videos.
Right. Now everybody has
You can get that one killer app video, but I mean, even if you try to make it, that might not be the video. It might just be the random unboxing video. Yeah, you never know.
Just do this random thing.
Well, that's super frustrating too, because you'll spend like, I remember I spent like 15 minutes on like a Mega Man rant video, and it was like a couple thousand views in like in a few days or whatever, a few months. You're like, oh wow! And then I'll put like my heart and soul into like a 40-minute or a 23-minute review. I spend like 90 hours on gameplay footage for an RPG, and it gets like 800 views or 500 views. I'm like, oh. But there's people out there getting like 5 views, so it's like you gotta always try to stay humble.
Definitely, all the like subscriber counts doesn't match like the view count too.
Oh
they
yeah,
all have,
a view count is,
and it's always a couple hundred in the views.
Yeah,
in the videos.
It also depends on what you're putting out too. Like my podcast gets barely 100 views on YouTube, but then on iTunes and all that,
consistency of content helps.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
you have to be consistent.
When we did we started 11 years ago. Right? So for a good 6 years, we were at 6,000, and we just stayed there. And then we also abandoned YouTube for a long time. Because before there was monetization on YouTube, we just started putting things exclusively on Rever. Remember Rever? Anybody? Wow. And then after Rever, we put things exclusively on Blip. And then YouTube started monetizing. We're like, okay, let's get in. But we didn't generate that YouTube audience, so we had to like kind of reestablish it. And then we started putting stuff back on YouTube, and then more consistency and like video game years and other stuff piling on. And then we grew. But I mean, for the amount of time I've been on there, I don't have nearly as much subs as we should have. I mean, while the other guys have come through the site and just blown up.
I mean, getting on a network helps too, or getting, not necessarily on a network, but on a website. Like I was featured on your website a few times, And that really helped. But also
Still on Gamesters? Yeah,
I'm still on Gamester81, his website, and that it does help because he tweets out stuff, and
that's a big thing because the sites themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at our analytics on our website. We're not getting the hits that we used to get.
Oh, sure.
People go to YouTube. They go to the home base and stuff. But it's that social media thing.
Yeah, it's the social media that really helps. It has to be a big part. I think we had one question back there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my question is, when somebody asks you to collaborate, do you guys sort of have a standard? So what I mean by that is, for example, a person that's asking you, hey, do you want to collaborate with me on this video? Do you guys look at how much subscribers does he have? How much videos has he uploaded? Or anything like that?
I mean, I would just not to cut you off, but I would just say personally, I would take a look at their content, make sure they're not putting up something that's like super offensive. That's one thing to kind of be aware of. Also, you gotta just be wary and make sure that they're actually making content, because sometimes people will just come up and try to troll you. There's a lot of those on the internet, but I mean, typically, just as long as it's along the same lines as the content that you are intending to make, I think that it's a good idea to try and collaborate with anyone if it's as long as they're passionate about it. You know what I mean?
Somebody reached out to me a while back about doing an interview just for the podcast, because they were like, hey, I'm a fan of Pixel Tunes Radio and I wanted to get you on my video show, interview show. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I checked out his channel on YouTube, and he had a ton of political stuff out there, right-wing political stuff. And I try not to choose sides. I'm more of a middle person when it comes to politics. So it's I don't want to get involved with stuff like that. So I agree with you there. You really have to go over somebody's channel, see what content they're putting out, see if it matches up with yours. If it doesn't, then respectfully decline. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not looking. But I
keep your social media clean too.
Yeah.
It's coming from me. Every once in a while, I'd have too much to drink and use the RetroWare Twitter account and just start spouting off stuff that mostly just anti-Trump kind of stuff. And it wasn't always received well.
No.
So.
Yeah, that's the thing is if you try to interject anything that's not video games in your channel, you're gonna get, because people are gonna be like, why are you putting this on? I know Russ does a bunch of really cool stuff with kind of a life vlog sort of thing where you did that Warrior Trail thing or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
And I watched that and I was like, oh, that's really cool.
But then halfway through, he's like, yeah, babies in cages, let's do this.
Right. But yeah, no, I mean, when it comes to collabs, I don't really care about this.
Right. Well, I would say to see how much that they're going to put in the work as well. Are you going to be editing the whole video? Is he just sending you footage?
Yeah. How much control?
Who's taking the hand on it? With a lot of my collabs, the guy from Germany was just just shoot the footage raw, send it to me, I'll edit it, and put it on my channel.
Yeah.
And 2 others that I did, I said, this is what I need, and we gave them a script. Here's your lines. This is what I'm going to say, because I want it to be more interactive rather than being me, and then it's what he shot, then me. I'm have a little reaction, so it's oh, I think this game's really cool. You know what, Russ? I think so too. Bounce off each other with that. So having a script helps.
Scripts are huge. Super.
And then it lets you know what you got to shoot. When I went out to the beach, I had I need to go in the water for Jaws. We did Super Spike V-Ball. I need to get a shot by the volleyball net because I wanted to intro with that. But yeah, it didn't matter how many subscribers any of the people that I talk to. As long as their content is somewhat decent, watchable, and they're uploading consistently, I was sure, I'm down.
Yeah.
I have a reverse answer for you. So it's an answer to your question, but from the opposite perspective. And what's funny is that's also the answer I would give. So I reached out to some people for collaboration, and I personally felt that the idea was so sick and so awesome that I feel they were into it just based off that. And that's also what I look for. If somebody's like, hey, let's do this video idea, 80% of it is how good is that idea? And then I'm okay, does it fit with my channel? Well, our channels don't really coincide, but the topic makes our channels coincide, so it works. That's 10%, and then the other 10% is, how are we doing it? Is it going to be, you send me footage, I edit, you send you footage, I give you footage, whatever? So the idea that I had was, I reached out to them and I was like, here's a scavenger hunt list. Film what you have, what you don't have, but it can only be from your own collection. So just to kind of see, like, here's 3 other channels. This is what they have of weird things that I thought.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, I like
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We should collaborate. Yeah.
Collabs don't. Editing. I was just going to add. Collabs don't go the way that you intend them to either. Sometimes I've had collaborations with the recent thing that I filmed with the wrestling thing. I had to throw the script out. So the gameplay footage, the review portion was good, but I mean, I went to them with the script, and the person who I was working with on it was like, I can't use any of this. Like, it's good, but I can't use it because the wrestlers need to react on their own, so we need to come up with an entirely new thing. So I had to come up with something on the fly. And I mean, I did a collaboration video where I had like a bunch of people do like a thank you for Satoru Iwata, who passed away.
Right, yeah.
So it was like thanking him, and I did a Kirby's Adventure review. And I mean, I was going to have like Game Chasers and Retro Liberty and a bunch of them, and they're too busy. And you have to understand that, like, you know, they may say, yeah, sure, let's do it. But until you have that footage in your hands, you got to rely on the people who get you the footage. So you got to set a timeline, set a date, say, this is when I need the footage by. If you can't get me the footage, then we can't do it, and then just move on. So, and go from there.
Billy and Jay were always late getting us footage for the video that year, so that was when they weren't as big.
Yeah. I think he was first. Yeah.
I was going to say with the unbox videos, what threw me off on my channel was the biggest video that I had the most hits on was for this camera unboxing.
Yeah.
And to this day, it has like over 2,000 views. I'm like, it's just a camera.
Doesn't that discourage you a little bit? Just discourage me.
Yeah, I put like food reviews and movie reviews everywhere. I'm like, but the camera got the most videos.
Yeah.
What the GoPro Hero 4, and then the Canon T6i.
And I'm like sweetening audio, like that's the worst part. And then at the end, I'm like.
I also find that like what we're finding out recently, you have to be like in the moment. I don't want to use the word trendy anymore because everything's trendy.
Sure.
In the moment, because like I was at Walmart and they had the Reuben sandwich. I said, oh, it's brand new. I said, all right. No one has it. No one's on the review search. I did a review on it. 2,000 views almost on that, just like put it up within 2 days.
It depends. I think it really depends on what the point of your channel is. I mean, don't review something just because it's hot. Like, if in terms of like retro games.
Yeah.
Like Holy Diver just came out. I know, like, I'm gonna be doing a review on it, but I did an unboxing video. Everybody did an unboxing video on.
That's the thing. Yeah,
you're in a sea of like you're in a sea of unboxing videos.
What are those whisper videos that people?
ASMR.
Yeah.
Do whisper
videos. Let's
whisper to each other.
We're gonna whisper to each other.
And then the last one I'd say is the one thing that I have seen no one done that I've been doing is the haunt reviews. I do haunt reviews in October. I go to haunted rides and attractions.
That's cool.
And I literally reviewed them. I talked to the owner. I said, listen, this is what I'm doing.
That's cool.
That's what I'm going to do. If you like it, then we sit down and do an interview after. So it's either a 5-minute video or a 15-minute video. So I give them the option. And then everyone's like, yeah, come back next year. Like, I've been invited to the extreme where everything touch you, they throw you in the ground, they put you in coffins. I guess it's great. Like, I love it.
Time's up.
Are we done?
No. I meant time. I mean, like,
you're dead.
I did an unboxing video and an assembly video on there's these figures called Fison figures. You can male or female figures, and they're like kind of like Hot Toys. Yeah, if you're familiar with Hot Toys. And I bought one because there was a Tifa Lockhart mod that you could and it was like, it was a pretty sexy figure, but it was like one of those things where I couldn't find any footage at all because I was curious myself. I was like, what does this thing look like for real? Like, I've seen pictures of it. Does it look as good as the pictures on like eBay and stuff? So when I got the whole thing, it comes with the figure and it comes with a separate box that has like all the clothes and the head and everything like that. And so I was like, well, I'm going to do a video on that. And it like kind of, I mean, it sort of blew up. It was like 800, 900 views or something like that. And I didn't expect anybody to watch that video. I even put it as an 18 plus because it has a little bit of nudity because the figure I had to unbox it. It's a nude figure. So it was like one of those things where I was like, all right, I'm going to put 18 plus. Nobody's going to watch this thing. And then it blew up. So like unboxing videos can blow up.
I get comments every like, how's that Nikon working? I'm like, you watched a Nikon video? They go, yeah, it's the first one I watched. I'm like, that's great. That's
awesome.
Can you watch the other ones? I mean, this is great. That one has more work in it.
I think I spent an hour yesterday watching like
videos where people took 1,000-degree red hot.
Oh God, those videos.
Oh, I saw those videos.
Those are like,
it's a hard to fall into milk.
Yeah. I think we had one other.
Yeah, we should do one last one.
Yeah.
we're wrapped, so let's do one more.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was just going to comment that you guys were talking about, periphery videos around it. And I always find it kind of funny when I watch, like, especially unboxing videos. If you look at the suggestions on YouTube, you'll often see like mock videos where they're mocking people that are unboxing.
I haven't seen one of those, but that sounds great.
Which are really
That does
funny.
sound fun.
There's also a YouTuber out there that I want to say it's like Hillbilly Gamer or something like that. But he takes like cartridges and discs and then shotguns them. Usually half
what a
drunk when he does
bastard.
it.
We should do a video where we, like, get the box, like the Amazon box, and you unbox it very carefully, just cut it, and then you get this beautiful system in a box, and then you just tear the shit out. Like that. It came with a manual, but it's gone now.
I want to do an unboxing video where you're just unboxing boxes.
Is there nothing in there?
There's nothing in there.
Like one of those Russian dolls, but it's just boxes.
Yeah.
Or bubble wrap.
Yeah.
They do a video on reverse Reeboks unboxing. Like, oh, I put everything in the box.
I like it.
That's a skill.
Any other last questions? Yes.
So, you mentioned several trends so far of unboxing, Let's Plays. Obviously, things have changed a lot since 2007. What are the things that what are the observations about what's changing now that you'd like to share, and maybe some predictions for the future if you want to go out all in? And what would you like to see?
I think news is huge. I think video game news is the big thing. You've got guys like RGT85, and I think you do a little bit of that too, right?
Slightly.
Yeah. And
Only when things interest me, though. Like, it's it's like I can't do things like if I picked a topic and just started talking about something that I wasn't passionate about, you'd just see me up there like, and then this game came out, and it's a game, and it uses a controller.
Yeah. No, I think that's the big thing right now is news and unboxings of new stuff that's coming out. I think that's really
It's
big.
tough, I'd say, with the news if you don't have an established channel already, because the people are looking for the new stuff are going to go to that bigger channel.
Yeah,
because it's
sure.
more produced and they have the followers.
What you just said, but for Let's Plays as well.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Just
Oh man,
everything
with
you
the
just
Let's
said,
Play
just
stuff.
throw that with that.
We used to reject the Let's Play video. I mean, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
They started coming out. We're like, I don't know about this, but then you have to stream. I mean, everybody has to stream.
Yeah.
That's where you get the big audience.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
Is that right?
And you have to be consistent. That's the big thing.
Do what you want, just do it often.
Yeah.
So for a video that's not aiming to sort of go beyond YouTube, if you're a publishing deal with Amazon or television, something like that, does polish matter as much as we think it matters? Let me explain why I asked that. You all say, and last year similar comments in this kind of group were made that your first videos are going to be they're going to be terrible, and people feel bad watching their early videos.
Oh, I hate
But
it.
clearly the audience liked them because they wouldn't have moved on from there. There must have been something really good. The content must have been there, even if the polish wasn't.
It could be the personality.
Personality, right. And then there are a few examples of people that just continue to not do a heck of a lot of editing on their stuff. They write a good script, maybe, but they don't edit their video that heavily. They don't do careful lighting, etc. For example, you have Lazy Game Review, which recently went full time, I think, in the last year or two. And I think Metal Jesus Rocks doesn't do a huge amount of editing either. So
It definitely doesn't matter as much as we think it is. I'm a self-imposed kind of prisoner. I put a lot of onus on myself to put all this work into it. And even my stuff's not that polished. I like to kind of strike a balance. I know, for me, a lot of the magic of YouTube is just a dude in a room with a mess behind him talking about stuff. So I still want to have some of that magic in there.
Yeah, I mean, the content is number one. That's what it is. It's your point of view, your content, personality, approach, more so than any of the aesthetics. Problem is, I always cared about the aesthetics a lot as sort of part of the fun of like, how good can we try to make this look? But sometimes if that overpowers what you're trying to say, you're going to miss out.
That's it. Work on your audio. I hate bad audio.
Yeah.
Work on your audio, yeah.
Yeah. Audio is important. Having a good microphone. I mean, I think the quality is number one. But when you stop, for me personally, when I stopped trying to chase any sort of imaginary thing, you know, as far as like becoming like super huge on YouTube and just focused on putting out quality content that I wanted to watch, that's when the channel started blowing up. And that, and you know, help from other people, like collabs and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily a thing where you have to, you know, really like you have to have like the 4K and all this. Like,
don't have camera envy, because then
yes,
you'll just be sad and you can't make any content.
No, lighting is key. Lighting is more important than camera.
Focus on that first.
I've had that Handycam for God knows like 5, 6, 7 years now, and everything I've shot on it with the lighting still looks good.
Yeah.
When I bump it up with a better camera, I get comments like, "Oh man, did you get a new camera?" I'm like, "Yeah." The lighting's still the same. So lighting is key. If you have a great camera with crap lighting, it's not going to matter.
Yeah. Create content from your heart.
Yes.
With a purpose.
Yes. Heart is what wins battles. Cyclops taught me that.
And constant self-improvement.
Yeah.
Listen to your heart.
You got to be Mati.
I don't care how lame it sounds. You agree with me, so it wasn't that lame, but
yeah,
it could not be more true. I swear.
I just met this guy. I like him.
Yeah. I think we need him.
He grows up quick.
Yeah.
Are we out of time?
We're out of time.
And thank everybody who sat here.
We're over time, but there's no panel after this.
So we'll just hang out all day.
Okay,
nice. 2-hour panel.
You're all free to leave if you want.
Yeah. Everyone can leave if they want, but.
Dan, you didn't crash the panel!
Welcome to the striptease part of this panel.
Any more questions?
I got a question. All right.
Woo!
It's a 3-part question.
Yes.
Nice. We got
No, we're not talking about Godzilla.
I'm gonna sit down there.
Okay.
One for Rex. Why are you the great?
Why am I the great?
Yes. And
Why am I not the great? Answer that.
That's a better question.
All right.
all right.
Yes, don't you? How about that?
Paul, give me your thoughts on retro indie games. And Russ, what are you doing?
Russ has got a very scandalous shirt on today.
Do you really want me to answer about retro indie games?
It's off the rails now.
Is this a real question?
I think so.
Let's do it.
Paul's about to go on a rant so hard right now.
Oh, he's standing. You're not in camera frame anymore.
Somebody camera.
It doesn't matter.
Get him a mic
on the waist
that works.
Yeah, get him a mic.
You guys, everybody here knows Super
No,
Nintendo.
he's loud.
You know Super Nintendo?
No. Yes.
You know the way the graphics look with the sprites?
Yes.
No.
And then when you see a modern game that tried to make those sprites in like an old style
here we go.
to look like Super Nintendo,
Okay.
but it doesn't look like Super Nintendo, that's called retro indie trash. And I don't like those games.
Damn.
And my YouTube channel is all about me just talking about things I like, and my friends always make me talk about these stupid retro indie trash games that I don't like.
What, like Shovel Knight?
I don't even know what that is, but I
What?
guarantee you.
What? How the hell do you not know what Shovel
you ever
Knight
played
is?
this game?
Amazing.
I had to.
He's
Sorry.
giving me the death stare, like, shut up, Rex. Put me on the spot, man.
Shovel Knight? No?
Stuff like that, like it just
It's like DuckTales.
Did you play
and
Dead
Eggman.
Cells?
Dead Cells, yeah.
that Castlevania one.
It's not Castlevania. It's got elements.
What about
I guess.
Messenger just came out.
It's not retro indie trash because those sprites actually look like it was a Super Nintendo game, but enhanced.
Enhanced. Okay, good.
Yes,
That's always
it
an
didn't
exception.
look
Always a
like
rule.
somebody was just trying to make sprites and botched it. It looked like
It's like this is a Super Nintendo game, but it's doing things that no Super Nintendo could ever do. And
it looked like a Super Nintendo game on a PS4.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the horrible remake they did of Final Fantasy III on Steam with the horrible sprites?
I don't know what you're talking
I don't
about.
want.
I've heard about that.
Squeenix can do no wrong.
What about the Super Double Dragon that just recently came back out again? They re-released Super Double Dragon, and they added all the extra content that was in the Japanese version that was missing from the North American version. But they made it so the cart can't be played in a Super NES. I saw RGT's video on that. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
How do you feel about the Super Nintendo version of Famicom Detective Club Part 2? Looks good. They upped it.
Yeah.
It's 23 years old, but you know, it was a remake.
I think we had a question back there.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a question for Mr. Paul.
This You're formal now.
So, Paul, please, tell me where the art in retro gaming is.
Oh.
Where's the art in retro game arts?
Why'd you toss me a softball?
It's all on the motherboards, man.
Yeah.
It's all in the
it's in everything.
the designs of the wiring and the. I believe I answered. Sit down.
It's in anything you do. Try to do it to whatever creativeness that you can. It doesn't matter what it is. Make something creative. It doesn't matter. If I want to, like, I'm gonna flick this cap. If I can make it creative, I didn't. I sucked. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again.
This panel's going off the rails.
I don't know, man. Anything you do, just try to make it. You know, try to say something in something else. Like if you go and look at any of my console models.
Like a turducken?
That's another thing that went over my head.
You don't know what a turducken is?
Can I guess?
Turducken.
Yes.
A turkey and a duck?
Yeah, and a chicken, right?
Yeah.
Chicken.
Yeah. Triple stuff.
Turducken.
It's like a horror movie.
That N64 shirt is sick.
Oh, thank you.
I have a similar PlayStation 1 shirt that I got from Marshall's.
It's pretty awesome.
Did you get that from Marshall's?
No, I ordered it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, same thing.
I'm getting a 64 tattoo in like an hour.
Nice.
Told me to go look at look at this wrist.
I'm getting that.
Is it going to be in soft focus and not really look that good?
I'm gonna have depth of field.
You should get Russ's face on your arm.
Yeah, Russ.
Do it, you won't.
But
Get it, what you doing?
Yeah.
You had a question right there?
Yeah, so since you're all content creators, and we were just talking earlier about dead cells and the whole, and I'm sure you're aware of the Philip Houston plagiarism. Is that ever a concern for you? Like,
I heard he got a job. I heard he got a job with IGN. I heard they offered him. I heard that somewhere that they offered him a job.
No,
like, yo, you want to take one of my reviews so I can get a job at IGN?
No, he got fired from IGN.
No, the guy who
Boomstick.
The Boomstick got a job at IGN. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true, but if that is true, IGN, if you're watching,
they offered him some money. They offered him compensation of like the views of that review got, but other than that, I didn't hear anything about him getting a job.
Yeah, I read
Is this some guy who just jacked a YouTuber's thing? And then, like,
Yeah. The funny thing was, is I was like on a podcast with him not too long ago, and I've like, you know, we started talking and everything, but
Boomstick, you mean?
No, with Philip, the guy who actually did the plagiarism.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I was on a podcast with this guy. It was on the Spawncast actually. So like he seems like a really nice guy. I think that, you know, based off of the conversations that I was having with him, IGN puts a lot of like pressure to get a lot of projects done in a short period of time. So I feel like he acted out in desperation. Whereas, you know, a lot of people were just like, oh, he's just lazy. No, like he had a lot on, like they would drop like 5 projects on his desk and be like, these need to be done by the end of the week. And like, you know, if you think about it, like doing 5 different game reviews, like you guys think you could do 5 different game reviews in 1 week and like really play through the entire game?
The only feedback to that real quick is that they found that he plagiarized before he worked.
Oh yeah,
before he worked there.
Yeah, so he was doing it on his own YouTube channel.
So, yeah, I heard that too.
You guys have any of your videos re-uploaded and swiped by anybody else?
I got my favorite one.
The podcast has been shared on a number of Russian websites, but it's just links to the original stuff. But like I'll occasionally will Google just to see what's going on with like my old podcast, Pixel Tunes Radio, and I find it on like Russian websites, and I'm like, what? But to comment on that, just before John takes over, as a journalist, because I have a journalism degree, so as a journalist, it's absolutely reprehensible to take somebody else's content. Is it coincidental that something like that can happen? Sure. I did a review on Vaxanadu, and I think maybe like
pronunciation
Vaxanadu. There's an X in there, people.
Can you pronounce one thing for me? I'm totally kidding.
I know, sorry about that.
Pronounce one thing for me?
Sure.
So Street Fighter 2, when he says Tatsumaki Senpu Kyaku, in Street Fighter 2, I swear, when I was a little kid, I heard him say dog sex, sex, sex.
Oh my God. Here we go with the
so
dog
we've been
sex.
calling the Hurricane Kid dog sex for 20 years.
Okay, that's all you. That I did not.
How do you say? Because it said Tatsumaki Senpu Kyaku. We heard Dogs XXX.
See, I was more of a Mortal Kombat. I liked Street Fighter.
That's why I grew
So I
like
knew
$3
Hadouken,
at that
and I knew I always thought it was like Tatsuken. But yeah, I mean, I took one semester of Japanese. I learned how to say. One thing. Well, I learned a bunch of Japanese, but my favorite thing that I learned how to say is "Watashi wa hamburger desu," which is "I am a hamburger." Yeah. But
it's a lot to say to just. That's what they call a hamburger,
right?
Yeah, right.
But no, it's reprehensible. But I did a review of Faxanadu, and fairly recently, NES Complex did a review on Faxanadu, and I watched his review, and it was great. And there were like one or two things that he mentioned that was kind of similar to some of the jokes that I made, but like it's coincidental. You know what I mean? It's not the sort of thing where I'm going to go after somebody because they made a joke very similar to mine. I mean,
or say was it the best form of flattery?
Yeah, well, it could be, but I'm not even. I thought he did a great job. I thought he did a great review, and he, mentioned a few things in the review that I coincidentally had also mentioned. But it's one of those things where you gotta understand that it's the same game no matter what. Right. So you may draw similar conclusions as other people. It's all about the way you write them. That's the big focus. But anyways, I'll shut up.
Tell us about your superstore.
There's a website called the Pirate Bay.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know what it is. But when I don't know if you know the game Police Knots, but it was a Kojima game, came out for the PlayStation 1 in Japan. It took 12 years to translate it by fan translators, and it was a huge effort. And we did a documentary of it, a 3-part documentary. It ran about an hour long in total, because we were an early tester of the translation and all of that. And when they released the patch, what you had to do is own the game or own the ISO file and apply the patch and burn the game, and then you had the game.
I definitely didn't do that, by the way.
Yeah, by the way. So
definitely did.
So on the Pirate Bay, a wonderful fan of the game packaged together the pre-patched version of the game, and then uploaded it. It had a good amount of seeds. Like, this is like the best way to get the game. So you don't have to worry about doing the whole patching and everything. But in that download package was a folder that said Police Knots documentary, and it was a ripped version of my documentary.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh, that's nice. It's like they're totally stealing my shit, but
they're actually selling that on Etsy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's not the documentary.
No, it's a DVD.
I buy it. I always wanted to put it on DVD.
They're selling like repros of Saturn games now, which I was like blown away. And you can get Police Knots, and it's like really, really nice. Like, I made a bootleg version of myself, and was just like, just wrote on with Sharpie on the CD. But like,
Gabriel put together for me like a full PlayStation 1 version, nice printed.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Yeah, they did like a full print on Etsy that you can buy for Police Knots. That's the manual, the inlays, everything. It's really cool.
Did you guys hear about this system coming out, the Poly Mega?
It looks cool,
right?
Yeah,
the modules and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the Sega Saturn repros and stuff, and it just made me think, because that's like one of the first consoles that's going to be able to do Sega Saturn, and I was just like, oh man,
that's another thing, touching on that with quality of your video for your gameplay footage too. Like, I have an Elgato. That's what I use to capture most of my footage. I'll use emulate. I'll emulate if absolutely necessary to capture footage. But I generally prefer to not use emulation. I use the systems themselves.
Right.
But the way that the Elgato works with the footage, I sometimes, with colors and bleeding of colors, especially on Genesis for whatever reason, I have a lot of trouble with that. So I need to hit you up because I need to mod my top-loading Nintendo to be AV modded, because it's RF, and there's some games that are PAL games that I want to play.
Yeah, for capturing, I might need to talk to
so,
you.
So
because what I'll normally do is if someone had done a really, really great capture on YouTube, beautiful, I'm gonna put some more stuff together for Snatcher. Some guy did a perfect HD pull, and so I contacted him. I said, if I give you credit, can I use some of this footage as part of the documentary? Because it's just perfect.
Yeah,
it's a game.
I have a question for Paul. Where did the real inspiration start with the candy names for all the boards and the colors?
Sometime today.
Internal struggle of, I just want to troll myself. What? Like it's like this is something that I put all my focus and all my energy and all my effort into, of like time and time of learning how to do it and studying it and all this dedication. And so at the end of it, when it comes time to slap a name on it, I just kind of just want to, it's just something that's just like, fuck it. So I name these works of art, whatever I want to attempt to call it, after pieces of candy.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Russ, it looks like we're not getting our tattoos today. Did you get that text message?
No.
Wow.
They kicked the tattoo artist out of the convention.
Last year there was a real tattoo convention.
Wait, what?
Last year, there, yeah.
Yeah, I want that
was
back.
the year to do it. Last year, they had the convention going on.
Who kicked the tattoo artist then?
I guess they said that the convention center said that they can't do tattoos anymore today.
Oh, wow.
Russ, you dodged the bullet.
Well, I guess we know what Russ isn't doing
guys,
today.
No staph infections for you today.
Because they got more money for video games.
Yeah, right? Now you can buy video games.
This dude was gonna do it live and live stream it.
The more time you spend in here, the less time you're buying video games. So just think, you can just
All the money you're
keep that
saving.
money. All the money we are saving you right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to like prep for my next panel.
Yeah, you have a panel
yeah.
coming on.
Yes, I was wondering of I missed the beginning of the panel. I was wondering each of you again, I can't talk. Each of you could say the name of your channel.
All right.
Yeah, we'll close out. We can close out with that. Yeah. Do we have any other questions or? Yes.
Just a fun question.
Who are your biggest inspirations? Who got you like really inspired to be voice?
Honestly, the guy sitting at the other end of this table, actually. Like, I saw Russ's channel a long time ago, and that's actually how, like, that's how we met, right? Like, through YouTube and
Yeah,
gaming
we
and
were
stuff?
coming into the game store as well.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like, Russ had, like, a really awesome, high-quality channel. I was like, man, this dude's awesome. He's got a sick car, makes awesome videos.
How can you not love Russ's car?
Yeah, like, how can you just not love Russ? Russ is the man. But yeah, like, Russ is actually one of my biggest inspirations, and kind of what made me want to start YouTube is because, like, he put so much passion into it. It wasn't like the super big, like the biggest channel. There was like so many other channels out there that have, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers or whatever. But there was just something about Russ's channel that was just like special. It made me kind of like inspired to start my own channel. So that's really why I started my channel. So thanks, Russ.
For me, it was definitely AVGN, and also I'd say more Happy Video Game Nerd the early years, and also I mentioned earlier 16-Bit Gems, which was that's Rue from Clan of the Grey Wolf. Just phenomenal reviews, to the point where like him and Derek Alexander have done reviews to the point where I look at those games and I was like, I can't review those. They've said everything that I could possibly want to say, and they did it so perfect. So those three guys are probably my biggest inspiration for my show. So.
I didn't become aware of a lot of the bigger YouTubers until later on, like a knucklehead. So my biggest inspiration was a Canadian YouTuber named Zaranizarak. He covers movies and he does a lot of Let's Plays and things like that. Nobody's ever heard of him. But,
say that name again?
Zaranizarak.
Zaranizarak.
That was his nerdy D&D character name I think he came up with back in the 80s. And,
Sounds like a D&D name.
But yeah.
Sounds like a Rick and Morty character.
Yeah, right? Zaranizarak. Yeah, so I'm the only guy that's going to say that.
Since I started in 07, there weren't a lot of YouTubers that did games. So I mean, obviously it was Angry Nintendo Nerd, who later became Angry Video Game Nerd. But really, I mean, Lance and I, our style was nothing like that. So when we started our show, what we really, really loved was, I don't know if you remember the G4 or Tech TV show.
Hell yeah. Olivia Munn.
Yeah, Icons was the show that made us really want to take seriously the concept of looking at gaming as an art form, as a viable medium that could deserve a critical eye the same way music or movies could. So we really wanted to take a look at some topics that were a little more obscure, like, you know, our first episode was Ninja Gaiden on Sega Master System, and you know, Double Dragon on PC Engine. You know, just random topics that like we wanted to bring a little bit more attention to that most people didn't know about, at least at that time online.
All my friends kept telling me to do it for the longest time. They were like, you have
the shittiest answer.
I just gave it.
My friends told me to do it, so I gave it.
Peer pressure. Two-part answer.
Start my drug addict.
Because I don't know, I would just be like, I would just hit him with some random like video game fact of like all these games we used to like play when we were growing up, and they'd be like, man, like how do you know all this stuff? And I'd be like, I don't know, I still play the games when you guys will stop playing the games. And they would always like, man, like with your rambunctious, weird, outgoing personality, you're so ridiculous. This is what my childhood friends would say. It was a compliment. They're like, you need to make YouTube videos. Like, you'd be good for it. And I was like, no, man. Like, why would I do that? Like, talking in front of a camera? That's weird. Like, I don't want to do that. And they kept going on for about a year. And then I was like, well, what do I like? I was like, I like video games. So I went to YouTube. I never really watched YouTube at like that point, except for like music videos or something like that. And so I looked up video games. First person I found was Adam Koralik. The long way to explain to answer your question is that.
Okay.
And he was the only person I found. And I pretty much watched all his videos. I was like, yo, this dude's just sitting there talking about how much he likes video games and like talking about new stuff he figures out. I'm like,
subbed your ass.
Why, thank you. Yeah. And Adam Koralik.
Cool. Russ?
Again, with like kind of like Mike, early AVGN and Happy Video Game Nerd. Retro Liberty when they came out, just like how their quality was so high in the show, very family friendly. So I knew when I wanted to start my channel, I wanted to kind of keep it like that, no swearing, and always positive. Metal Jesus rocks. Just kind of bouncing around. Then I watch a lot of DIY stuff as well because I do a lot of video game DIY. So I watch like Jimmy DiResta does a lot of cool videos with that, and I kind of like take inspiration in that, but spin it on the video game world. And then I try to like up my cinematography. So I'm watching a lot of people on YouTube like Peter McKinnon and Casey Neistat that do vlogging and have all these tech reviews. And I'm like, maybe I can incorporate that into video games where that video game culture people never really saw these YouTube creators, so it stands out to them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I take a lot of inspiration from non-YouTube stuff too, like Eric Andre show, Tim and Eric, awesome show, and just any like there was a show called Wonder Chosen. Way back with puppets. Yeah, kid show.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, I missed that show.
That actually a friend of mine works for the company. He's an artist and he works for that company. He sent me a text message not too long ago of the puppet Clarence. A picture of Clarence, and I was like, "Is that Clarence?" He's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "What? Like, why are you with Clarence?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I work for them now." I'm like, get the hell out of here. So. Yeah, I take a lot of inspiration for anything like non sequitur, like abstract, ridiculous humor. That's just my style. So I kind of input that into a lot of my skits and stuff.
No one mentioned me, so screw you all.
I mean, Retroware.
Oh, yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Retroware is that like everybody's come through there.
Yeah.
It's like this weird.
It's a revolving door. It's like Cheers. Everybody knows your name.
It's true.
Yeah. So. And then you had a question?
Yeah, no, it's just a fun question going back to like the earlier comedic point earlier from the panel. Just a deathmatch video idea, and comment if you wish.
Did you say a deathmatch?
Yeah. Unboxing videos versus kittens climbing out of teacups.
You see the video of the
deathmatch?
Yeah, like
kids climbing out of teacups all day.
But the video of the kitten smacking the little kitten, the smaller kitten who's wearing the top hat. You ever see that one?
No, I
haven't seen it. It was like a little kitten, and it was like the mommy kitten, and the little baby kitten was wearing a top hat, and the mommy kitten smacked the top hat off them. So I remember like back in the day, I took that footage and then I put the Hadoken sound effect. I was like, Hadoken!
Next year's panel.
I don't know. Unboxing videos?
Video tips.
I guess. Yeah. Unboxing.
I don't know what I'm answering. I mean, those My Little Pony unboxing videos are unstoppable.
Yeah.
So you want to do the go down the line?
Yeah.
Again?
Which way? Reverse? Which way do we go? This way?
Well, if you missed the beginning part of the convention panel. I don't know, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. With this thing that you're at, if you missed the beginning of it, I am Rax. I have a channel called Rax the Great. I make videos. You can check out my YouTube channel to know more, and on to you, Mike.
YouTube.com/Dongold. That is the YouTube channel. Dude, you haven't played this game. Gaming Linguistics, Noob Repair, Pixeltunes Radio, and now XVGM Radio, and I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Yeah.
That's all the series.
Yeah.
I'm Sam Hatch, Culture Dog, YouTube.com/Culture Dog. I also do a podcast called Laser Discotheque. I mostly cover videos, home theater, that kind of thing, and laser discs and Blu-rays. And I'm also on the Colin McEnroe Show sometimes, NPR locally, and Damon Scott Show, and WWH on 91.3 on Sunday nights, talk about movies for about an hour. So cool. That's about it.
I just wanted to add, XVGM Radio and Pixeltunes Radio are the websites. So if you go to those websites, you can get the podcast, but then you can also find out iTunes, Stitcher, all that nonsense we come out with. Well, Pixeltunes no longer puts out episodes, but XVGM Radio puts out episodes every other week. So.
I'm John Delia, youtube.com/RetrowareTV or RetrowareTV.com. And also, if you want to watch the Video Game Years show on Amazon, you just go to thevideogameyears.com. It'll take you to Amazon Prime. You watch it. If you own Prime, you can stream it.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. I have Prime.
There you go.
Yeah, he recommends it to me often.
Yeah.
No, I know that guy. I'm not going to bother.
I firmly believe that in about like 5 to 10 years, if you like want a retro game and if you want to enjoy these older consoles, you're going to need to know a little bit more about how the consoles function and what goes wrong with them. And that's pretty much the basis of why I started, or not started, but where my YouTube channel is at now, is to share all that information of saying, this is why this console breaks, this is what you can do to fix it, these are all the different techniques and tools that you'll need to use to fix it, to kind of spread all the information that I've learned by doing all of this to help more people be able to fix it. And then take it to like another level of, oh, and by the way, after you fix it, you can also enhance it, because it can do other things. Because all these game consoles, they blew our minds when we were kids, right? So when you like customize it or modify it in another way, it can blow your mind again as an adult. So that's pretty much what my YouTube channel is mainly focused towards, is sharing that kind of information. And I also have a website with the same name that like sells some of the parts that you may need to do those things or other various things. But I do also like to get creative and jump out of my comfort zone and create random video game related stuff.
So it's youtube.com/retro gaming arts?
Retro Gaming Arts.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't
There you go. I'm trying to keep it on focus.
Yeah. Retro Gaming Arts is my, just look that up, and then my name's Paul.
Can you RGB mod a Valley Astrocade?
No. Valley Astrocade is not internally RGB, I don't believe.
Yeah, you gotta make something.
Russ and I are going to start a new YouTube channel. It's going to be called Dude, You Haven't Eaten That Chicken Nugget Yet, and it's just going to be us eating chicken nuggets and talking about how good they are. With different
$5
sauce.
gets you 20, right?
Yeah,
Such a
right.
good deal.
Right? Collab.
We have to do our Cribs video, though.
Yes. Yeah, we have to. Well, I mean, I'm close to 4,000, so we can always,
do it. So I'm Russ Lyman, so I do game reviews, vlogs, DIY stuff. I have a whole series. If you guys see my car parked downstairs, the Mario Kart, I have a full vlog of me building that from the ground up, because my car was parked here. Last year, I got into an accident in March and totaled it.
Oh no.
So I bought a new one and rebuilt it. It's downstairs. Looks better than ever. But yeah, I do fun videos on there. We went out to Too Many Games Expo in Pennsylvania, and I did like MTV Cribs style video where we stayed at the hotel. So I want to go over to Mike's and shoot like a game.
I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we, do the fun edits, be like, what's up? There's in my fridge.
This is where the magic happens.
I'm a pretty corny guy, but I'm going to have to turn the corn factor up when you come do that, because I'm going to be like, what's in here? Open the door, and be like, chicken nuggets. Like,
have your dog come out, like, what are you doing in there?
Yeah.
Well, can you come to do that? I want to do that.
So I might try to shoot one tonight, because I'm staying at the hotel with Rhodey, and I was like, dude, let's shoot a Crips video.
Nice.
We're here, so
yeah. I liked the one last year.
It was
when
fun.
when you went to Too Many Games, I think it was.
Yeah.
That one was great.
So yeah, check out Russ Lyman. It's a good time. Everything's high quality on there. I strive for that.
If you get it, if you forget his name, just think Rusty Man.
Russ, are you in the Marriott?
I think that's where he is. I only met Rody.
You guys should have a segment where you're just like, and we have great neighbors, and you just come to my door, and I'll just open up the door and be like, what do you want? Just slam the door in your face.
Nice. All right, cool.
That's a panel. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for coming to hang out with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for hanging with us. Well beyond the 40.
The God of Thunder and Lightning is here.
Yeah.
I've done 90-minute panels for Retro World, about 95.
Yeah. Good times.
By the way, if you guys are also looking for another really awesome channel to check out, these guys right here in the back, Nerdy and Squirty, they have, their channel makes me laugh so hard.
Does it make you squirt?
It does. They have an amazing channel, so make sure to check that out.
Tomorrow there's going to be a Castlevania panel. It's Castlevania Media. And that is